Much do you expect a bit of a wounded opponent? How much do you expect an angry opponent tonight?
Angry, absolutely. They are, great coaching staff, great history, reputation. I mean, there's never an easy game when you play them, and that's their reputation precedes themselves in a very powerful way.
You mentioned yesterday that you like Peyton Krebs at center, but in what ways do you think that experience in the wing will help him as he goes back down the middle?
I think it will help. Just different position, different battles. You get more battles on the walls, and he's gotten stronger by virtue of training over the summer, and he had to engage in those more and fight through those more. And I think just easy visual for everyone to see on that one that he'll get better in those areas and as a progression, like most young players, and then just little different perspectives that he'll pick up and add to his game overall.
Eric's at a point where he's played, I think, a fifth of what he played before in the NHL already. Just how have you seen him respond to that?
It's early. I mean, he's a worker. Workload doesn't. He's accustomed to that. He pushes and creates a high workload for himself, even in practice. He's out there early, he stays late. And he's been in the league long enough to know that the grind of lots of games, whether he's played them or not, he's had to be ready to play every one. And he prepares like he's playing regardless. So I think it's early, but he has the habits and traits of someone that can endure.
For the rookies, would the preseason game help tonight, I guess, in terms of them knowing what to expect from Crosby and confident in those games?
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd have to ask them, but we're in the NHL, we're in regular season now, so I think the last game is probably the significant factor that helps them going into tonight, and just the knowledge you're playing against a lot of great hockey players. So.
Don, you guys got some notice last year in the Heritage Classic. This is another game that now goes nationwide tonight. I mean, it's another game on your schedule, but just what kind of statement can this franchise make as an organization in this kind of game? A lot more people probably checking it out.
I smile, Mike, when you say that, because I stay out of that stuff completely. We're not playing to make a statement. We're playing to play hockey, and we know the hockey we want to play, and we know the challenges in this league with great teams and great players, and tonight's one of them, and we have to be ready for that. It's not, I don't think we look at it as making any statement. We look at it as we know we want to get better, we know we can get better, and we're hungry to do that, and tonight's another opportunity to do that. And oh, by the way, it's what you say. It's on a different television group, but it's still, we have to play our game.
As the maturation of this team continues, when you get a guy like Thompson has a 6.9, Dahlin has the month he has, they do start to get more attention. How much does that change the evolution of the club, where the players get used to more attention from the outside and necessarily more attention from the other teams?
Now that is absolutely a reality, as you mentioned. That's something that is positive, because it's going to stimulate and push growth even more. It's going to, Thompson scoring 6 points, Dahlin having a great month is going to draw more attention from the opponent to check them harder. And when you think of the ultimate of playoff hockey, and in that, it's tighter checking, it's fight for inches harder. So yes, that is I see that as a real positive, because that's going to stimulate us in a growth area we need. So, I always said I want the other team to give us their best and to play the best, because that forces our young guys to develop faster. And it gets them, they have an opportunity to gain even more experience. So now that you mentioned the two players in Thompson and Dahlin that had months that they had, or recent games that they've had, yes, there's more of a bullseye on them from the opponent's standpoint. That's healthy. That's what we want. That's what we need for them to grind through and gain experience of being, potentially a go-to guy. So
I was in there talking to Alex before, and he's pretty stoked. He's wearing the goat head tonight for the first time in his life. Just how much is he him already, but how shocking is it? Not even shocking. Just the guy has fit in like he's been here for 5 years or 10 years and not one. I mean, what is that like?
I think that's the beauty of having almost a team that's brand new, because no one's mind has been here for 5 years. It's every day is new and original, and he's been a real surge in that. But for us, people have spoken a lot about culture, and it's almost like they think it's a carryover from the past. It's not. It's today. It's immediate, and we've been able to do that and create culture in the moment. And then you have Alex Tuck come in, and he's a guy it's so engaged in the moment. He brings so much excitement and energy to the moment that it kind of fit what was happening just prior to him arriving, and it gave it just another boost. It was just another guy and another personality, and we know he's full of personality, full of life, and that was certainly an addition to a lot of guys that were gaining that as he entered, and it's been great having him. It's great having him every day, and he does bring a lot of energy and life, especially knowing the history of the organization, which is which is important because, especially in this market, because there's such a strong one that does. I talk about it a lot when the crowd gets going in this building, you feel it. You just feel you're not in a normal building with fans that just bought a ticket. You're in a building of fans that appreciate history of hockey being in this market, and it's a different feel than going in a new market around the league where it's just loud.
Quite often you've given Dylan Cousins the responsibility of going up against the other team's best players, but it hasn't only been defensively. I mean, he is putting up numbers offensively too as he defends against the best players. What gave you the idea he was ready to handle that type of assignment?
Well, I didn't. It wasn't so much that he was ready. It was that he would be capable through a process that I thought would be short. So, I didn't feel okay. We're going to throw him in there. He's not going to make mistakes. It felt like when he makes mistakes, he's going to be pissed off and correct them, and we're going to have his attention as coaches, and he's going to say, "What do you suggest there? What should I be doing there?" And engage in that process to resolve any issue fast. He's just that competitive. So that was, but to do it, you're a young player in that situation. There's some risks that come with it, but his ability, his competitive nature, and his skill, and his skill set, and his ability to he hates to lose and wants to win. Then I knew he would acclimate fast, and he's still within that process. I mean, let's face it, and we also are. That's when you defend the best players, it's 5-man unit. It's layers and layers as we talk about, and obviously with the back end being lots of integration with new players, it is a greater challenge, and it's more of a demand on if we're talking about Cousins and he was against top players, even more demand on him now.
Jeff's known as a goal scorer, but we've seen going back to last year his playmaking ability is very underrated. He has a lot of assists. Just what do you attribute his increased assist total playmaking?
Determination, absolute determination. The skill comes out with him the harder he goes, and you have to be selective. He can't run around the ice and finish hits and chase pucks, but he's developed enough. He's got enough hockey sense and intuition to know when he should be going and turn up the throttle, and when he's not, he's maintaining good steady positioning. To defend well, to slow the opposition, to puts himself in a good spot to get the puck back. So you see that experience, and then you see the increased determination, which early in the preseason in the game, it's hard to be going full throttle and maintain full throttle when you're not in midseason form yet. I don't care how much these guys train in the summer and through preseason. It's not regular season hockey. So he's getting to that through the first 9 games now, going into the 10th game. We've seen that elevation of higher intensity and for longer duration, even though it may only be 5 to 10 seconds. But he's decisive, and he recognized obviously when to be decisive before that because of his experience. And then when you can pass it off to Thompson, that work, the reward is right on the other side of that work, and then that feeds that appetite for more. And I think that's where he's at now.
Thank you.